You know, man, human beings are just like mechanical parts inside of a clock. Let me explain it to you. I was at a store the other day, right? And the only difference between the human being and a part that's inside of a motor is this right here. You see, the human, he has emotions. The part that's in the clock, it doesn't have emotions. Or the part that's in your engine, it doesn't have an emotion. But the human being does have emotions. But far as what the parts in the clock were designed for, which is to make the clock function, the human being has the same purpose. They are designed to make the inner beings of, or the inner workings of the HPB realm. The human is designed to make it operate. That's the only difference. Hey man, I didn't tell you to walk all the way down there. Stay where I can see you, man. That's the only difference between the human being and said parts inside of a clock or, you know, your automobile. So, giving you a better example, like the people who work for the sanitation department, the nurses in the hospital, the doctors, in any aspect in this world that you can think of, far as the job force, these people are just parts in a clock, except they have emotions. But they are designed to make this world function. That's it. Think about that. And why I'm telling you this is because so you can understand that when we speak about the HPB realm, I don't want you to think that it's just something that we say to sound cute, as if it doesn't have no meaning to it. No, it's not a metaphor. It's real. The presidents, the judicial system, the government, they all have a part to play. They like parts in a clock. They only have emotions. Now, sometimes they can go against the system. And what will happen? Well, just like if you had a clock, just like if you had a wristwatch, if it started to do something that went against what it was designed for, let's just say one of the parts in your car starts acting up. What happens? Well, you will take your car to the auto mechanic. And what will they do? They'll say, such and such part in this vehicle, it needs to be removed. You need to get a new part right here, because this part is no longer playing its part. Likewise, in the HPB realm, when you do something that goes against the program, what do? They'll call the authorities. Such and such is not playing his part. He has to be removed. What happens when you say something on YouTube that goes against the agenda of the HPB realm? You know what they'll say? We're going to remove your video. It doesn't fit the program. Same thing. And the reason why I'm telling you this again, so when we say these things, you don't make a mistake that left side of the brain is just making a metaphor. No. The human prison bar realm is literal. And I think some people, thinking I'm saying this as a metaphor. No, this is not a metaphor. These are moving parts of a system, just like the parts of a clock. So I'm just giving you this example so you'll be able to see it more clearly. That this thing is real, people. And I would like to add one more thing. Everybody has a role to play in this life. I was thinking about that today. Everybody has a role to play. The HPB cannot be awakened. Don't try to wake them up. They have a role to play. The role of the HPB is to wake you up. That's it. I thought about that. When you see an HPB, it's to wake you up. It's to let you know, I got to get the hell out of here. I don't want to be like this person. I'm not going to subject myself to this person. Look at the HPB as an example of what you don't want to be. When you see them, their everyday interactions, look at them and say to yourself, how can they be like this? How can't they see what I see? Have that ever resonated inside of you when you've been out in public and you're just walking around and you just happen to have you ever just paused for a second and just looked at your surroundings when you just see people moving about? And have you ever said to yourself, I'm the only person thinking this stuff that left side is talking about? I'm the only, I do that all the time, man. I'll be somewhere. I don't care if I'm in the shopping line at the grocery store. I could be in a line. It could be 10 people in front of me, and I'm just looking at them like, they don't get it. And I'm just looking around, and then another voice in me will say, they not supposed to get it. They here to trick you. They here to make you think that this world is real. In reality, everything that these people do around you, these animated characters that we call HPBs, their purpose is to make you believe that the purpose in life is what you see them doing. That's their only purpose. Even when you see people let's say, like these latest protests and stuff, they will have you believe that they are actually going through something, when in reality, they're not going through anything. It's just to make you believe that they are actually going through something. Let me give you an example, because I feel like I'm losing somebody. It's almost like if you saw somebody burning on fire. This may be too harsh of an example, but let me not use that one. It's like when you see these protests and things, like I said in the other video, we know that justice is a myth. We know that the protest is nothing but a merry-go-round, because we have seen this before. We've seen all of this before. We've seen the different presidential debates. We've seen them raise the same topics, and every 4 years, another president, but it's the same old thing. It's never changed. It's just dancing around the same topics. They never sang something that will really change the world. So what I'm saying is, when you see the HPB and when you see him protest, what he is protesting is about is to make you think that his gripe is your gripe. So what happens is you will start connecting your emotions to their emotions. Whatever they griping about or raising sand about, you will make it a problem for you, when in fact you wasn't even thinking about it until you seen it on the news or something. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, they will make what's important to them become important to you, when in reality, what I call change, they don't want to hear. But what they be protesting about is not real change. But what can you do about it when the majority of everybody is HPBs? The only thing you can do is be surrounded by the human prison bars and seeing what's taking place, but you can't do nothing about it. It's almost like when you was born into this world, right? You didn't vote on how streets are laid out. You didn't vote on whether or not the stop light should be red and the go light should be green. You didn't make any of the traffic rules or laws or regulations. You was just born into something that already existed, and you was told these are the rules that you must follow. You didn't vote upon it or anything. Even democracy. You was just born in a world, in a system called democracy, and you was given the guidelines by which your freedom counts, basically. So their definition of freedom became your definition of freedom by default of you not having no say-so about it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this human prison bar realm, it's enforced upon you. It's nothing you can do about it. Just like gravity itself. As soon as you was born into this world, the law of physics, gravity, was enforced upon you. And like I said in the other video, it's another part of the illusion, because it'll have you believing that you have some freedom of choice about something, about movements and whatnot. But in reality, without gravity, you will just be floating around in space. No control whatsoever. But that force, that magnetic force called gravity, that now some people were saying in the other video, oh, left side of the brain, gravity is not real. But the only thing I'll say to that is, that's the word that we were given. That's what we know it as. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to make arguments where there's no argument. People were saying that gravity doesn't exist. You are being held down on this ground. Whatever you want to call it, gravity or whatever, there is a magnetic force or whatever law of physics that has you not floating around right now is in operation. Therefore, you are under that force, which is keeping you in place, and you have no say-so about it. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe gravity is real and you think you can fly, then get on an elevator and make a video while you're jumping from a 10-story building and tell me about it when you hit the ground. And then if you survive, tell me whether or not gravity is real or not. So my point is, you don't have a say-so about the gravity that you are under, but it gives you this false illusion that you have control. You really don't have the control of anything. Gravity is what's holding you down. But like I said, in the outer limits of space, you would just be floating around. No control whatsoever. So when you look at it, it's like this life that we live, this world, this universe, everything is within the human prison bar system. Only thing we have the freedom to do is to choose whether or not to believe in the illusion or not. That's the only freedom we have. See, the freedom that they say is freedom is not true freedom, because something that someone can take away from you, and if they say we giving you this right, that's not real freedom. You don't give freedom to somebody. It's inalienable. You see what I'm saying? They can duct tape your mouth. They can take your videos down. They have ways of stagnating your freedom of speech. But your spirit, your soul that gravitates to the truth, they can never take that from you. That's the only right that you really have. Hope y'all got something out of this. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. This is Left Side of the Brain. Hit that likes button. Hit the subscribe button. Shirts coming out. This summer, shirts will be out. I think the first shirt, no, I'm gonna leave that on a hush. I ain't gonna let y'all know. But few people did give some, good suggestions, but I'm gonna take the best from that, and I'm gonna take the best ideas that I had, and we're gonna see what we come up with. And I want to have these shirts available for the public by mid-July. So give me a little time and we'll have these shirts available. And hit the likes button, hit the subscribe button, share these videos. This is Left Side of the Brain signing out.